What's up, Hipster Nation? Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're new here. If you are, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, share these streams out. First and foremost, yes, I get to file for my monetization back at the end of the month. But if you want to support the channels, right there going across the screen is your way to support us. 100% of the proceeds go to me. Also, YouTube doesn't take 30%. So just think about that. And hopefully we get our memberships back because we were growing our members. So yes, I have not done, where have I been? I haven't done a stream in over a week. Um, I know there's been 2 or 3 people in my comment sections asking why haven't I been live? Well, I got some information, some news, just, things going on in personal life. So first thing is my father had a stroke last week. So I've been out of town where he lives, dealing with family and things like that. He is paralyzed on the right side, but the doctors think he will make a full recovery because he did call the ambulance and they did the reversal shot. He got to it pretty quick. They got to him pretty quick. So he's in the hospital, fixing to go into a rehab floor in the same hospital, I believe, in the floor. It's a different floor. So hopefully he will make a full recovery. And then when I got home, I woke up sick. I mean, I got hit like a train hit me. You know what I mean? I felt like a train hit me. I've got some kind of head cold, flu, whatever. I'm working through it. But through all the bad news, I did have some good news this past weekend. My daughter took the riding course, the motorcycle test, all that, if you know what I'm talking about. And she passed it, which makes me a happy father. So now here comes the real, fun is having my riding partner. She will get to ride with me. I will also be, taking her to the school parking lot so she can practice before I actually allow her on the road. So I'm just not going to let my kid up on the road on her Harley Davidson that I bought for her and I've gave to her for her to just take off. And, she's got to practice and learn a lot more stuff before I just turn her loose, and I think that's what most fathers would do. So I'm a happy father in that situation, grateful, but also, like I said, my father had the stroke and been dealing with that. That's why I haven't been live all week. So just in the same old news, the war. We're going to talk about a few things with that, but not much because there's nothing really major happening. I mean, there's 2 or 3 little things, but they're still just bombing and doing that stuff. So it's not really like, yes, we have a certain leader that's now a few more leaders has been taken out, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to share that here in a minute. But like I said, I've missed you guys. I've been gone for a week, taking care of family, personal matters, stuff like that. So um, I just want you guys to know I ain't forgot about you. I haven't quit live streaming. I'm just, like I said, taking care of some things, and that's about it. Real life. I have a real life, and I love getting into it. I love sharing it with you guys. Like my riding and my motorcycle videos that I did on my other channel. So I will be bringing a lot more stuff. If you go watch the video, I dropped one earlier or the other day. I'm going to drop another one. I've got another one actually in the GoPro. I just haven't pulled it out of the GoPro and put it on the computer yet, but I will do that soon. I did film a ride of mine last week or the week before that, I should say. But with the things going on with my father and stuff, I kind of put a lot of stuff on pause this past week. So, and yes, I've dropped some shorts. I've dropped shorts, but those are easy to drop when I've already got them made up and done. So if you're seeing my shorts, then they're simple 2-3 1-2 minute shorts. They're quick. I can do those, keep the channel positive, active. But doing the live streams, I haven't been home. I haven't been here to do anything. So yeah, so I just think that we can do some of this stuff here. We can get into it. A lot of people want to criticize a lot of people, but we're going to jump into this one right here for us.
Over now to some breaking news.
Yes, we have some breaking news on this one. We're going to, let's see, jump over here. Let's see what she's saying here.
regards to the developing situation in the Middle East. Taking a look here, it's a social media post courtesy of the Associated Press. It says, breaking. Israel says that Iranian intelligence.
Hey, thank you, bud. Thank you. Appreciate it so much.
This is what we know so far from the.
You know, people don't realize things that, people don't realize things. A lot of people think, we're just, oh, he's just a streamer. He's a YouTuber. A lot of people think we just live on the internet. We live on the computer, Well, I don't. I'm 45. I'm not 22. I don't live on social media constantly. Yeah, you may see me drop a lot of shorts on my Instagrams and my, my YouTube and stuff like that, but I'm not constantly, just online. I actually have a real life. I have kids. I have a wife, I have family. So, yeah, so the breaking news is Israel says that Iranian intelligence minister Ismail Kaba has been killed following APS live updates. So, as far as I know, other than the guy resigning, we're going to get into that too.
Israel's defense minister,
this guy minister
made the announcement on Wednesday, so earlier today, and
has been deleted
minutes ago. The killing of Khatib follows the killings of top Iranian security officials Ali Larijani and the head of the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer besieged force. The defense minister of Israel had said that
we're still taking out,
leaders
expected
throughout this day on all the fronts.
So
the U.S. Treasury, which sanctioned Khatib in 2022 over the intelligence ministry, quote, engaging in cyber-enabled activities against the United States and its allies, put his year of birth as either 1960 or 1961. It said that Khatib had been born in Iran's South province, and that Khatib, quote, directs several networks of cyber threat actors involved in cyber espionage and ransomware attacks in support of Iran's political goals.
Ransomware
attacks. The Treasury also called Iran's intelligence ministry in another round of sanctions one of the Iranian government's main security services, which is responsible for serious.
Because the intelligence department, like they said, the ransomware, like every time your phone asks you to update your spam, your wire, your spamware, all this stuff, that's what they're attacking. That's why you have to, if you have an iPhone, I've had to do 3 updates since this war started on my iPhone because it keeps, this is what they do. They attack these, these intelligence. That's what they're doing. It's like deep, dark web attacks. And people don't realize this. And they think, oh, I just got another update. I got to update this. No, they're killing the glitches and stuff where these people are attacking our social media through the dark web. And that's exactly how they attack us from the inside as well. So, yeah, every time, a lot of people don't get it, but every time you get an update on your phone saying you need to update your, whatever number you're on, 26.1 or 26.5 or 3, whatever, update your iPhone. This is what they're doing. They're cleaning out the bugs. You have to update it. They're going through all that, your spamware, your firmware, all that stuff. So, and this is what people like this do. They have just people that sit in rooms that's nothing but on phones and computers, and they're constantly trying to attack us. So
abuses. So there's a lot to get to on this Wednesday. Continuing here and bringing onto the conversation now is going to be Jonathan Sayeh. He is an Iran program research analyst at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Yeah, good to be with you. Yeah, we're not going to get into all that. We just wanted to show it. And this guy here is this guy started with his hearing, Senate hearing, the DHS confirmation with this guy here. From the Senate, I guess he's going through that. We have, let's see, I've missed a lot this past week. We also have a guy that has resigned. Excuse me. Let me see if I can find it. There was somebody that resigned from, right here. This guy right here, I believe.
This was some breaking news we were able to bring to you as there was an update with Joe Kent. He's a top official in the Trump administration announcing that he is resigning. He's one of the nation's top counterterrorism officials. He announced his resignation on his X account earlier today, citing his opposition to the Iranian war and what he says was Israel's influence over President Trump's policies. He did go into that tweet to say that I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. He said Iran posed no real imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. We do know that Mr. Kidd is the highest Trump administration official to quit over this Iranian war. And so to talk a lot more,
I think Trump called him weak or something. I don't want people working for me anyway.
The conversation with Politico,
and that's a big topic. Excuse me. Like I said, I've been sick too. That's a big issue right now online and going around, you know, the Israel thing, Ted Cruz saying, you know, if you say Christ is king, that's a code word for saying you don't like Jews. I think that's the biggest crock of shit in my life, because I tell you, Christ is king. He is. He's my Lord and Savior. That's the only way through to heaven, in my opinion and my belief. I wish I could show you guys. I've got a cross right here on my wall. I'm not Catholic. I'm just a Christian, but I think that's hogwash to sit and push that nonsense. And I made a short about it on my Instagram. People don't realize that's how they ban you. That's how they get certain words. These politicians and these people on social media that have influence, what they do is they start making this a conspiracy. Started out, oh, this is, you know, crisis. That's a code word. It's a code word. So before you know it, I guarantee you, I've said this, and I said it a while back. You wait and see. Anyone that says Christ, it's coming. They will shadow ban you. I'm already shadow banned. What are they going to do to me? I'm demonetized already. But what I'm saying is, this is how and it will be on every platform. You will be banned for saying those words. People can't see past that. See, I can see past it. You know what I see? I don't see them just, oh, they're banning you online. What they're doing is they're attacking the Christians, in my opinion. What are they trying to do from the inside completely? I believe this. What do they really want to do? What's their end goal? To eradicate Christians. They do not want Christians. None of these Muslims or these, you know, Jewish, leaders and all, the government over there, you know what they love? They say they love Christians, but then you go watch videos of them spitting on Christians when Christians go to visit Israel. That's just the truth. Now, I don't hate anybody. I'm not, you know, with all this other little group over here on the internet and all these group of people over here on the internet. I'm a conservative. You guys know me. You know how I speak. If I see something wrong, I call it out. But the thing is, don't sit and say, because somebody says Christ is king, that is a code word, that we hate people. That's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my life. I mean, that's just dumb. Now we can't say, that's where they start. They start banning words. And I don't care what side it comes from. I'm going to call it out, because that's the point. That's what they're trying to do. When they ban the words and you can't say anything, guess what? They're going to ban you. Eventually, they're going to ban you from going to church, or just like they did in the UK. They arrested a man for preaching the word on the sidewalk. He was reading out of the Bible. I'm telling you guys. You wait, it's coming. It may not be tomorrow, but it's in the future. They're coming. That's what they want to do. They want to completely ban us out of society. You wait and see. I've said it. You mark this day, this calendar on this stream, and when it happens, you can go back and mark my words. This is how it starts. They stop you from saying it, just like Virginia. They're pushing so many Second Amendment, the Second Amendment laws over there. That, this past weekend, they did a protest. They were handing out, clips, 30-round clips to, conservatives and people that are gun owners and stuff like that. And because their gun laws are so bad over there, and they're trying to push it so much that, they're completely trying to take their Second Amendment right away from them in Virginia. Just go read about it. Look it up. It's all over. And it's true. They're completely trying. Look up the laws. It's ridiculous. That's what they want to do. They want us Americans to bow down and stop being Americans and with our God-given freedom. So if you don't believe me, just look it up. I'm telling you, it's a shame that this country has got to this point.
This, John, thanks so much for being with us.
That's why we have to fight for this. We have to fight for.
Thank you.
We have to fight for our. I mean, it's sad that we have to fight for our given rights. We have to keep fighting, and keep fighting for our God-given rights. Our the Constitution. Our freedom. Just like this hat says right here and right there, freedom. Where's our freedom going? Where's it headed is what I want to know. You know, I mean, truthfully, like, just keep putting in these politicians that are against us. For Christ's sake. So does that mean I hate people because I say for Christ's sake? I mean, Trump sit at that speech and said, stand up if you're for the American people over the illegals. You know, no Democrat stood up. That told me, and it should have told the rest of the world, seriously, not just the United States, the rest of the world, that the Democrat Party is for illegals and they're not for American people. Or it shouldn't even have told them that they were just for illegals. It should have just told them that the Democrat Party are not for us, not for the American people. They do not care about us as long as they keep their three things: money, power, and position. That's it. And why is it so hard for them to vote on the American Act or whatever, you know, the Voting Act? Why is it so hard? There's only like 3 or 4 things in there, and it's voter ID, show proof of ID, you know, no mutilating kids. You know, that tells you, because they can't cheat. They don't want voter ID because all their illegals can't cheat and keep them in office. They know, and it's not about just showing ID and proof of who you are. It's about keeping them from cheating. Reminder, I've already got my test results, man. They come back good. Stop texting me on that. Anyway, sorry. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame that we are fighting for this, that we have to fight every day for every bit of scrap freedom that, I mean, let's see what, yeah, we don't, let's see, the official, okay, let's see, I'm trying to see which one I was listening to earlier. So a lot of people think, you know, that dude right there on the bottom left right here is influencing, you know, Trump, making him do things, blah, blah, blah. I don't think anybody makes Trump do anything, you know, that he don't want to do. So I think that we do things out of certain reasons. I mean, first of all, do we want, how do I put this? If they're not even if we don't like them, even if we don't need them or like them, here's the thing. Do we let them go and be, you know, allies to China or somebody else, or do we keep them in our pocket? You know, do we keep that government, you know, do we keep them in our pocket? Even if, you know, we are doing what we're doing. But see, this is what aggravates me. People act like that's the only country that we're giving money to, that our taxpayer money is just going to that little country over there. That's what pisses me off, because it's not. Dude, we're giving billions of dollars out to all these other countries to feed them, to shelter them, to, you know, all this aid and stuff. People don't have a clue. If you even just looked up and seen how much money went to other countries other than that little country over there, why ain't people up in an uproar over that? That's what I want to know. Why isn't people in an uproar over all our tax money going to Zimbabwe, or, you know, or Africa, or this country over here, or you know, Cambodia or Vietnam? You know, people don't have a clue how much our money goes to other countries, and everybody wants to bitch over that one little country. And I'm like, really? Because we can't do nothing about it. We can't, you know, they're going to take our tax money. If we don't, they're going to put us in jail. I mean, how do we fight that? How do you fight it behind bars? Just a question, but, you know, it don't matter who you vote for. There is no politician going to come and save us. Politicians are not doing anything for us. They do it for the lobbyist. And that's the truth. Yeah, we can vote. The only time they talk about the American people is when they're in front of a camera, or it's voting season, election season. That's it. And then after that, they have all the lobbyists that come up there. They're constantly coming to Washington. I don't care if you own a car company. They have lobbyists even for that. They go and say, here, we're going to do this, we're going to donate to this. And they do what's in the best interest of these people, of that company. It's companies. Who is lobbyists? It's companies. People that represent these companies go to Washington and they talk to these politicians. They make deals with them. And that's who these politicians actually are for, the lobbyists. Don't matter what side of the aisle you're on, red, blue, Democrat, Republic. They do not really give a shit about the American people until it's election season. And then you'll see them, and then they promise you everything, and that's the way it goes. So.
Officer Hal Kemper in a moment. Before that, let's track the latest on the war in the Middle East with Fox's Aisha Hasni.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake. This was a great test because we don't need them, but they should have been there.
President Trump slamming NATO while hosting the Irish Prime Minister in the Oval Office today, who at one point defended British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Keir is not Winston Churchill.
Keir Starmer has done a lot to reset the Irish-British relationship, but I do believe that he's a very earnest, sound person with you have a capacity to get on with.
The White House also battling internal
get along with. No, he's a woke
today, the
dude.
director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, resigned, claiming Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation.
That dude's a sissy. I wouldn't have had him anyways.
Israel. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt pushing back on that, saying the president had, quote, strong and compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the United States first.
I always thought he was weak on security. Very weak.
How do we really know what evidence they have? How do we know what threat there was?
Briefings about Iran. Democrats claim the Trump administration has no plan for victory.
It seems like they're always a few hours away from hanging the next mission accomplished sign around here, and we continue to suffer.
President Trump's trip to China now officially delayed due to the conflict as administration officials try to calm Americans, admitting the longer this goes on, it would hurt consumers.
If it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, but that's like really the last of our concerns right now because we're very confident that this thing is going ahead of schedule.
Also today, President Trump once again calling for the Senate to pass the Save America Act, threatening Republicans that if they do not vote for it, they will not receive an endorsement from him. The Senate is now officially debating that bill.
I think we need to get rid of John Thune. He ain't doing his job, man.
At the White House, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
I mean, what's he doing?
Heard from the U.S. military that they're using 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions in Iran. Take a look. CENTCOM posting this, saying hours ago, U.S. forces successfully employed the 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along the country's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian anti-ship missiles in these sites,
the reason, let's just
say, posed a risk to international shipping in the Strait.
Yeah, and the reason the UN doesn't want to get in, or NATO doesn't want to get involved, and they said now Trump is saying there's some that are on their way and agreed. Some of the countries are on their way and they agreed to help, protect that strait there, that Hormuz Strait. And then there's others saying no, they're not helping. They refuse to get involved. They refuse to come to the aid. I thought that's what NATO was for. But by God, they don't care to call us when it's, time for American soldiers to lay their life down and use our big equipment when they need our military intelligence and our military equipment and all that. NATO's on the phone. But then when, just like Trump said before, not a one of them, even to the UN and NATO, when he was giving his speeches when he was there, he was like, you guys didn't even call and ask if we needed anything. You never call. Even when there's not conflict going on, you didn't even call and say, hey, how you doing? Do you need anything? They don't care about us. These other countries just want our security, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Officer, national security analyst, and the host of the Scrap
Sorry,
podcast.
I'm a little still sick.
Here with me. 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions. Have we used these before?
So,
not that I'm aware of. This is the first time I think this particular one's been used. We've used some pretty advanced.
Yeah, we've had some
penetration ordnance, but this one
is, I mean, let's look and see.
Up at the upper portion of a building.
And I do think this country here does manipulate a lot of stuff.
At this camera and they were surveying the ground conditions.
Can they really manipulate us to go
seems to have hit
do all this? I don't think it is. I don't think they can manipulate us that much. Now, maybe the Joe Biden,
in central Israel during the.
And
I got to ask you, because he's the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. You know a thing or two about counterterrorism, Hal. Kent resigns. He announced it today over concerns about the justification for the war in Iran. He said he cannot in good conscience back the Trump administration's fight. He, in a post, said that Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. And he said, it's clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Again, he's the head of the National Counterterrorism Center. So he's in charge of an agency that's tasked with analyzing and detecting terrorist threats. The chief reason he wrote in his letter, the top thing he put in there, is because he feels that Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States. How do we work that question out?
Well, I think Iran's been a threat for 47 years. I mean, that's just the truth. They chant their chants. They say death to America constantly. I've seen interviews of Iranian women and kids where they say they are raised there, and they're raised to chant that. They're raised to hate the American people and everybody else, even their neighbors. They're raised to, they have to say that. Like they have to, or they get, disciplined. I mean, when you're a kid and you're being forced to be, that ideology putting you, that's a hard, I mean, I believe those people, Now, was it perfect? Should he have done it? I'm going to look at it like, I don't know all the details and I can't make that kind of judgment because I'm not in government. I'm not next to Trump. I'm not listening to him. I'm not seeing the evidence like these other people get to see and don't get to see, So as just a guy out here, as an American, I can't make that call because I don't know what I would have done, but also I'm the kind of strong guy. I'm that guy where, hey, let's hit them before they hit us. I'm sick of this, people. I'm sick of these, this regime. I'm sick of the way they've threatened not just America, but everybody else for almost 50 years. I'm sick of the way we have waged all this stuff, and they just find it like, so what? Gas has went up $1. Who cares? Joe Biden's gas was what, $8, $9 in California. Here in Tennessee, when Joe Biden, when he hit that big high mark, I think we were paying 5 something, almost $6 a gallon, 5 something a gallon. I'll pay $3. I'm happy with $3. Yes, it needs to be $2. It needs to be $1.50 in my opinion, a gallon. But I'll pay the $3.
Night, Hal. Did Iran pose
That's just me.
Well,
better than 7.
Iran has always posed an imminent threat.
But we'll see how it goes. We're going to see exactly.
In the U.S., they have a global network of proxies. Hezbollah, which also has sleeper agents and sleeper cells here in the U.S.
We do, and that's something we have to get rid of. We have to get those out of here.
Efforts around the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the Red Sea, and the Gulf of Aden for the last couple of years, and then you have all the Iraqi Shiite militias that have posed a threat. And so, I heard what he said. I couldn't quite grasp his thinking on that. Maybe he didn't think that.
He's saying they don't pose a threat.
Ballistic missile, intercontinental ballistic missile that can reach the U.S.
Dude.
So maybe he was thinking because they have that ballistic missile.
Yeah.
Or maybe because
they
haven't actually built
pose a threat. They have sleeper cells. They have people that do everything. Look what's happened in the last 2 weeks.
A short clip on social media. Let's play this.
I mean, seriously, look at the attack in Texas, and then the college attack in Virginia the other day, and then the attack on the Israel's mosque or whatever up there. 3 attacks in like a week and a half.
We continue to remain centered on our military objectives. These are well-defined and include eliminating Iran's ballistic missiles, drones,
boom.
Our Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps aviators.
It's a shame those people, our soldiers, got killed over there in Iraq. That refueling plane. Did y'all hear about that?
And to the entire Operation Epic Fury team, keep pushing, remain steady, fight the win. Thanks so much, and Godspeed.
So that was just posted moments ago, I believe within the past hour, from the U.S. CENTCOM social media account.
Yeah.
We're also, Hal, hearing that 2 top Iranian leaders were killed in strikes within the past 24 hours. That includes Ali Larijani, who was widely believed to be running the country, and also General Golan.
This guy right here is who I was talking about earlier. This guy, he was, apparently, running the country. So now they've took out more leaders, which, I think they're going to keep taking them out until they find somebody that's going to, do what we want.
The AP
I'd rather be on the winning side, guys. You can disagree with me all you want. I prefer to be on the winning side, and America is the winning side. So what if we have Israel there as our ally? We need them. They do have intelligence because they have people in those countries that we do not have. That's just the facts, guys. That's the facts. And the fact is that I prefer to be on the winning side. That's just the way I choose to live. I'm with winners. I don't want to hang around with a bunch of losers. You know what I mean? I prefer our country to win. Trump's building an empire. That's the truth. Why do you think he wants Greenland? Why do you think he did what he did to Venezuela? Now Cuba's coming up and all this. He's building an empire for not him, but for America. We will have an empire.
Powerful internal security force that crushed waves of mass protesters. How significant is their two deaths in the scheme of things, Hal?
I think it's very significant. Both of these appear to be kind of what's starting to become what they call a classic Israeli decapitation strike, and we call it classic because we saw some of the amazing stuff that they've done in earlier strikes, particularly over with Hezbollah and Lebanon, and taking out Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah. So they have done some amazing strikes, very time-sensitive intelligence, putting aircraft on mission or missiles on mission very quickly, and they did that in this case. Now, the thing with Laranjani was he was called, and some called him the decision maker. All right, with emphasis on the part. He was widely seen as basically the guy calling the shots as far as what was actually going on. It wasn't really felt that Mojtaba Khomeini, and we don't know what his situation is. We've not seen nor heard from him since he assumed this was, or should say, was named the Supreme Leader.
Was named, but we don't know if he's we don't know if he's took the position or not. We don't know.
Connections, close contact, a lot of confidence with the Revolutionary Guard Corps. And so this decapitation strike really took out the top decision maker, we think, that was basically running the regime at this point. So that's very significant. He's been there for a very, very long time.
What do y'all think about that?
He was easily replaced. He's widely recognized.
Do you want to see some other top news that Elon posted?
And then you have Gholam Reza Soleimani, who is the head of Basij. Basij is that really large, I think it's like 350,000 member pseudo-volunteer militia organization. These are the extremist, ideologically aligned to the regime. Police, I hate to say law enforcement; it gives them too much credit. But this enforcement element that was so intertwined with horrific deaths of protesters in December and January throughout Iran.
All right, we're going to pause it there. We're going to jump over here, and I'm going to share this right here. This guy right here. You remember this guy? Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you don't remember this guy. This was the principal at the school, breaking Oregon high school principal Jeremy Williams, who was placed on leave for celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, has been sentenced to 5 years in prison over possessing of child. We can't say it. Pornography. Yes, we can. We can say that. Pornography. Do you see that? Thank God. Pull out the wood chipper. This motherfucker don't need to be in prison. He needs to be in a wood chipper. My opinion. This is the kind of people that celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. Sick people like this. Maybe he'll get what's coming in prison. I don't know. We also have ratchet people like Miss Whoopi Goldberg. What does she say? She says Whoopi Goldberg reacts to President Trump saying that Gavin Newsom shouldn't be president because he has dyslexia. Yeah, and Whoopi says, well, I have that too. He's just mean. You know what I mean? Like, no. It goes completely over these woke retards' heads. Do you understand? As much as Trump done for Whoopi and gave her first 2 jobs and took her out there and gave her the stand-up comedian place at his, his casino or whatever it was, the first job she took, and she admitted it. She admits it. First 2 jobs Trump gave her. Look here. This lady, these people are whack, man. First of all, I understand what Trump's saying. Let's listen to it and let's see what she's saying.
This really pissed me off.
Really?
Take a look.
It pissed you off,
Gavin
huh?
Newsom has admitted that he has learning disabilities.
Yeah, he has a learning disability. He's dyslexic.
Honestly, I'm all for people with learning disabilities, but not for my president.
Exactly, not for my president. Saying I don't want a president that's got.
I know it's highly controversial to say such a horrible thing.
Doesn't know
the president of the United States,
yeah.
Gavin Newsom, admitted that he has learning disabilities.
Who wants that as a president? Who wants somebody? And I'm not making fun of him. I have a learning disability. Trust me. I was in special resource. We called it special ed, special resource class when I was growing up because I couldn't read so well. There's nothing to hide. I got a 10th grade education. So what? Do I qualify to be president of the United States? No. Should he? No. Why? Because if he has this many disabilities, not only that, he was in that interview, said he had all kinds of shit. Why would the American people vote Gavin Newsom in if he's got all these problems? That tells me he can't run a country either.
Dyslexia.
Yeah.
Everything about him is dumb.
As a person with dyslexia, you know.
Well, how's he supposed to learn to be president? How's he supposed to learn certain things with these other countries?
Who are trying to figure out
by doing his fake thumbs and talking with his hands?
Our
I mean, honestly,
learning disabilities
are
not meant for
you have a learning disability, you don't need to be president.
to use as cannon fodder.
Come on.
We're not dumb. We learn different.
No, you're not dumb.
Now
you got common sense. You just don't want to show it, or maybe you don't. Maybe you are just dumb, Whoopi, because you don't. You despise Trump over what? He's never done anything to you.
In all his 30 years or more of teaching, that President Trump was the dumbest student he had ever had. In his
okay. But Trump was the dumbest student, huh? But he's a billionaire. He's got buildings, hotels, everything with his name on it, real estate out the ass in all these countries, golf courses. He's built golf courses, bought golf courses, remodeled them. He owns Mar-a-Lago, but he's the dumbest student. Really? Sounds like Trump was the smartest to me. I mean, do you see any of these people right here with their names on buildings and as big as Trump? No. It's not just Trump derangement syndrome, guys. They're jealous. I really think it stems from jealousy. They are jealous that Trump can do whatever. Not because he's president. Any business he goes into or anything he does, he succeeds. I think they hate him for that.
But words like stupid and dumb have no place because you know
well,
what they do.
Why don't you tell Gavin Newsom that? Because he's the one that talks stupid and dumb. He's the one that says the dumb words.
So you should watch.
I mean, seriously, like if you really, watch your mouth. Look at this dude, man. That's a real winner. Do you guys see yourself picking this female up? You guys think this passes as a female? I mean, truthfully, you think men are out here looking for a man pretending to be a woman was arrested in Washington State after he allegedly, grapes and see what I mean? Like, you think these people are fucking sane? These people are crazy, dude. These people, why don't we have the mental institutes brought back? Where is the padded rooms for these people? She says Republicans are lying to the American people about the Save America Act is a voter ID law. It's a proof of citizenship requirement that would make voting harder, if not impossible. How would it make it harder, Jessica? I mean, honestly, how would it make it harder?
Well, it's very easy to be against the
Let me
Save
know.
America Act. Lisa Murkowski,
show your ID, vote.
Are against the Save America Act, and it sounds like
The only time you really have to show your ID is when you go to register to vote, and they can see that you're an American citizen. How does that make it hard? That's what I want to know. How does it make it hard?
Actually, is in the way that it's being represented.
No, the only Americans that hate it is the Democrats.
That Republicans should take what I would say a quasi W, I guess, what they'll get out of this win when they have a vote on it and move on to other things, because this thing is absolutely dead in the water. And Joey was the only one who actually used the correct term in talking about how this was a proof of citizenship bill, not a voter ID bill. If it was a voter ID bill, I think you could get a lot of Democrats to talk to you about it. Jim Clyburn.
I think we need a proof of citizenship and ID. You need to prove you're an American citizen to vote in our elections. God, how stupid is these people? Guys, go look up any country that has a voting system, which is 99% of all countries where they elect people. Go look it up. Do your research. Every country have to be their citizens. They have to have ID to vote. They have to be a citizen of that country. Now, maybe not the UK right now because they've let Muslim from everywhere in, and they've allowed them to take over, the UK, Europe. I mean, it's ridiculous what they've allowed to do. That prime minister and all them, what they've allowed to do, it's ridiculous, man. So, but I'm telling you, all countries have that. Their citizens do not vote, or they do not vote if they're not a citizen of that country. And that's common sense. Why would you get to vote? Why would you get a say-so if you're not even an American? If you're not even a citizen, why do you get to vote? Your vote doesn't count. The people that are American are the only ones that get to vote and should vote, because it determines how our lives are being ran and, what laws and what. I'm just telling you guys, it's common sense. When you
talk about proof of citizenship, that comes one of two ways.
Hell yeah, I think we should.
Only 50% of
I think everybody should have to show proof of citizenship that comes in this country, or if you don't, get out.
Democrats who have it, not
I don't care if you disagree with me or not.
Certificate. I'm glad you had them in your house. I can say from my own experience, and I live very close to my mother. When I went to get my real ID, I'm someone who has 2 middle names. I haven't even changed my last name when I got married.
Well, that's your fault. You're an idiot.
I had to leave 2 times and come back to have the right identification.
You're an idiot.
My real ID, because some of my IDs said Jessica Brooke Tarlov, some said Jessica Brooke Roberts Tarlov, some just said Jessica.
Because you're an idiot.
And that wasn't.
Get your shit right.
So,
yeah,
well,
Greg's like, so what? Get your shit right.
I know, but the point is
it's not. And I didn't interrupt
the problem
you,
with
even
bureaucracy.
Fine.
Who runs that?
So doge it, but also doge this bill. There is an opportunity for Democrats to get out there and to own this in their own.
But it's not our fault that you can't fix your shit.
ID bill should look like, where you accept.
You go get your shit corrected on your license. That's your fault. You're an adult.
Is formulated.
Don't blame it on the government.
Actually has a date on it, and majority of them don't. Then you say we're for automatic voter registration, and that also that election day is a national holiday because you want to make it easier for people to vote, not harder.
Now you have
there
ideas.
Are some on it. We've always had that idea. No. Again, why are you interrupting me? I let you
because it's
talk.
Fun. Because
Okay.
you act like somehow
I act like somebody that knows what the Save America Act actually says and what it would require and who it would disenfranchise. Young people, old people, married people.
It's not disenfranchising anybody.
Really, if you cannot get yourself registered to vote because you don't have a passport, give everyone $165. Go door to door. You get
they don't need.
You get $165. Or if you change your name, you were in the adoption system. You were in foster care.
I've never had to have a passport to vote.
It was
guys.
funny.
All right.
If your 45-47 joke was funny, that was hilarious.
That was legitimately.
That's retarded. No, the only people that need a passport is the people that are coming in and out of this country. And wonder what percentage of them are not Americans, Oh yeah, Nick Shirley I've heard he's blowing the lid off of all kinds of fraud in California. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This guy's, I don't want to watch no dumbass people. These people are ridiculous. Look at that. Dude, you're a dude, not a female. Yeah. A name has been born. Yep. Let's see what this is. The other thing I was seeing the other day. Earlier. I wanted to touch on this and see what it's saying.
A grown adult, nearly 19 years old, and an illegal immigrant is now
not a grown adult, but he's an adult.
As many as 12 female classmates at a Virginia high school.
Telling you, where's the wood chipper, guys? Where's the wood chipper?
Say that he's from El Salvador and entered the country illegally under the Biden administration in 2024. Well, parents tell local reporters that about 12 girls have come forward, and they say the school tried to cover it up and only sent out a letter to the parents after multiple parents demanded a response weeks after the offenses were reported. The Fairfax County School District tells Fox that although they cannot comment on an
This is the
ongoing
problem.
investigation, they, quote,
This is the-
prioritize student and staff safety, and we fully investigate any time someone shares that an incident has occurred
And
at
they
school
wonder
or that
why-
they do not feel safe at school.
And they wonder why we want to get rid of these illegals. I'm not talking about immigrants that came here 200 years ago. I'm talking about the illegals that came here 2 years ago, 4 years ago, under Biden. All these illegals. These guys are criminals. These people are predators. Have you guys not seen that yet? How do you not wake up? How do you not see that? That's what I want to know. How do you not see any of that stuff? These people are predators, guys. And I'm just saying, man, there's a lot of nasty stuff going on. Let's pause that for a second. Open it up. We're going to see what she was saying the other day or earlier. She takes some questions.
Why is it fair for the president to expect NATO allies to help now after the fact?
NATO allies benefit far more from the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz
Yeah,
than the United States does.
they benefit from the United States, period,
Agenda.
more
We
than
are an
anybody.
exporter of oil. We
NATO-
have resources here at home for our people, and that's a good thing, thanks to President Trump. The Strait opening is obviously good for America because it will stabilize the global oil industry. It will bring prices down again, but it greatly benefits Europe and our allies in NATO, and the president wants to see them do more. Look, I think you guys know this. One of the president's guiding principles is fairness, and he's long called out NATO for being what he believes sometimes an unfair alliance for the American taxpayer and our American military. You look at the billions of dollars we spend
Find a
housing
video
U.S.
here,
troops on
guys.
the soil of our NATO ally countries.
trying to
That's a
find a
benefit to them
video
because
I
it
wanna
serves as a
show.
deterrent from our adversaries around the world. If you look at our unfair
wait a
trade
minute.
deals with many of our NATO allies, the president and his trade team have obviously worked to rectify those new trade deals with the UK, with the EU. The president wants all of our alliances to be fair for the American people, for the American taxpayer, and I think he's right to call on them to step up and do more in this
I have a
time.
follow-up. I'll ask one other question, leave that to others, which is very simply, can the president declare this war effort a success if the U.S. does not retrieve Iran's nuclear fuel?
Look, that's something the president has refused to comment on. It's an option on the table for him, but I'm not going to comment on it or take it off the table. We've defined the objectives of Operation Epic Fury very clearly, which is, of course, to wipe out Iran's ballistic missile arsenal, which we have been very successful in doing. We've achieved dominance over the skies of Iran, to annihilate their navy, which we have done. According to CENTCOM this morning, I received the updated numbers. More than 120 naval vessels are at the bottom of the sea because of our United States Armed
Good.
Forces. That's a great thing for the American people.
Yes,
That's a great thing
it is.
for our allies in the region. And of course, to
It
ensure
is,
that, yes,
guys.
Iran cannot permanently cannot possess a nuclear weapon is something this president has long said for decades. But I'm not going to forecast or remove any future options off the table. Look, again, we're in a place right now where we're ensuring that Iran can no longer threaten the United States of America, and the United States military is doing a tremendous job at achieving these objectives.
Caroline, is Tulsi Gabbard's job in jeopardy right now?
Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard the president say that, nor have I heard him say that. So obviously that's a question for him, but I haven't heard him to say that at all.
If she's going to lose her job completely out of the White House. This is why it would be hard for me if I was a senator to go work for administration for the president, because you can be a senator and stay a senator for how many terms they get and keep running and, make all the money they do. Here's the thing. You go and take a job like Tulsi Gabbard did, and now she was laid off, fired as, the head of the board or whatever. He's going to give her another job in the White House. I'm sure, they say now they're talking about, is she going to lose her job completely? That's the thing. Guess what? You don't get to go back to being a senator unless you run again. So you're just shit. You better go back to doing something, So would you really take a job if the president offered you a job, like what's his name's doing? Hey, I didn't think this old country boy would. But you know what he said? He said when Trump fired or Kristi Noem, not Tulsi Gabbard, but Kristi Noem. Tulsi Gabbard's up to lose her job too, I should say. Kristi Noem, when he fired Kristi Noem, you know what that guy said when he elected? He said, "I never thought a farm boy would be working under the president of the United States." That's good. He's glad, but also if you listen to what he said in that interview, being a senator has allowed me and my wife to buy like 3 other businesses and bring. So, how much money are you making, man? How much money are you making out of the Senate? You're buying 2 to 3 companies businesses. I know you're not getting paid that well, 150, 175K a year. Okay. And your wife owns a little bitty business and you're buying now 3 more businesses. How are you buying all that money and paying your bills and living and raising kids and all? I just question things, you know, because like, how do you have that much money to buy 3 other companies? See, this is why they want to stay Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. This is why they want to stay in those positions because it allows them access to money, to trade. They can get in the stock market. They can make tons of money. And then when they have businesses, all this stuff. So when they do get out of the Senate, or if they get voted out or something happens like this, they take another job or whatever, or they lose that job. Guess what? They got to fall back on their businesses and the money they've made when they were in government. And that's not right because the American people are out here paying for their salaries for them to make money and buy businesses so their family's secure, but not ours. Our taxpayer money's going to them to live luxury lives. That's horse shit.
They have agreed to postpone the trip. I think they understand the president's rationale for doing so. But again, we're working on those dates. The president has some things here at home in May that he has to attend to. And I'm sure President Xi is a very busy man as well. So we'll get the dates on the books as soon as we can. We'll keep all of you posted.
Given that the allies seem to have rebuffed the president's request for help and now says he no longer needs their help, what is the plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz quickly?
The president is going to continue to talk to our allies, both in Europe and also in the Gulf and Arab region. The United States military has a lot of capabilities, as you have seen play out over the last 18 days. They still do have tricks up their sleeve. I won't broadcast them for the media, but rest assured there is a plan. They're working on it. We have seen some progress with respect to that, but of course the president, again, continues to call on our allies to step up and do more. Nancy?
They're not doing much.
The White House was warned last year when the president nominated Kent that he had
You guys seen her in a bathing suit on the beach? Man, she's got a sexy little body.
White nationalists. Given that, why did the president nominate him to the position in the first place?
The president spoke on this
About a few
little bit
more
yesterday
puppies,
in the Oval
baby.
Office. He said he always thought Joe Kent was a good guy. Obviously, has a commendable military record and experience. However, he was not someone who was involved in the presidential daily brief, part of the president's intelligence briefings over the last several months.
Why not?
Have not
If
seen
he
him
was
here
in
at the White House
charge.
for quite some time, and the president feels it's deeply disappointing that after the president gave him an opportunity in this administration to serve the American people, that he would resign it with a letter filled with falsehoods, accusing the president of the United States by being controlled by a foreign country. That's both insulting and laughable all at the same time. The president is the leader of the most powerful country and military in the world. Nobody tells him what to do. He makes decisions based on what's in the best interest of this country.
Sorry, the president said yesterday
There you
that
go.
he always thought Kent was
Whether you believe it or not.
Why would he name someone to run the counterterrorism center who he thought would be concentrated?
Why would he name someone to run that and not even show up and get any
Good
briefing?
military experience, and unfortunately, he proved he was not up for the job. If
Yeah.
you want somebody leading the
If he had
counterterrorism
military
task force, you
experience.
could not agree that the #1 state sponsor of
How
terror
does he
in
not
this
show up
world,
to get any
did not pose a
to
threat to the United
briefings or
States. That's
anything?
what another falsehood he said in his letter of resignation, which is just unequivocally false. It's backed by intelligence. It's backed by the fact that Iran was building ballistic missiles at a rapid rate to build a shield of immunity so they could build a nuclear bomb. And it's backed by the fact that the president of the United States made the decision to attack Iran before they could attack American troops and our assets.
And the
bases in
president
region.
has every
And
right
was,
to
of
do
course,
that.
a good decision, not just for the United States, but for the rest of the world. It should be commended. It should not be degraded in the form of a resignation letter that's riddled with lies. Thank you.
Caroline.
Take your questions and run. That's what she did. All right. Well, we got a couple of videos we want to play here. We're almost at the hour mark. We don't have many people in here, but I want to show you some funny videos before we end this.
In the beautiful. You're a brave ass bitch and you got this. You're a brave
White
ass
liberal
bitch
women
and you
after
got this. You're a brave ass bitch and you got this.
transgender kids.
Yes, you do. You're a brave ass bitch and you got this. You're a brave ass bitch.
We feel the 19th, guys. This is crazy.
Ass bitch and you got this.
Liberal, white liberal women, man. The death of America right here.
And you got this. You're a brave ass bitch and you got this. You're a brave ass bitch.
This is the death of America right here, guys. White liberal women. White liberal women. Look at them. Disgusting. That is some shit. Let's see what this.
I know right now Ben Stiller is calling out the president, saying he doesn't want
This is the best reaction from any famous person in the world. This is right here, Gene Simmons, the best reaction.
him to use his movie clips for war.
This is exactly what every one of these actors, musicians, famous people, rich people should listen to. Gene Simmons.
Propaganda. I mean, it sounds.
Okay, let's see here. I think it's, let's see.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of people are kind of, criticizing Trump, like Hollywood right now, over this war thing. Is that fair?
Yeah, because everybody in the world should listen to what actors and comedians say, because they're so qualified. Basically, shut the f up. Do your art and shut up. Nobody's interested in your opinions. That includes me, who I vote for.
He said that even includes me. No, but shut up. All the actors and comedians and stuff, shut up, is what Gene Simmons says. And he says that includes me. Nobody wants to hear your opinion on politics. He has the best statement that anyone can come out with.
Who I like.
And the reason this is proven true is because Kamala Harris had $1.5 billion with a B, to run a campaign, went $20 million in debt after that, after she lost it too, paid Beyonce $10 million to come out and speak for 3 minutes, if that, paid all these rappers and actors and all these people to come out and talk, and paid Oprah $1 million to go on her show. All these people. This is the truest statement that anybody can say. Mind your business. You have no room to say it, because why? They do not influence anybody or any election. They don't. Now, yes, there's people that will listen to them, the wokies, but none of these people have really any real power of influence. Why? And why do you think I say that? Because they would have influenced us all to actually vote for Kamala if they did, right? Like they would have really, like we would be listening to these famous actors and musicians and stuff. If they had any real influence, we all would listen to them, but we don't, because we know they're full of shit. They live in a fantasy land. They're rich. They live they don't understand what the American people actually have to live in.
What the do you think you are?
Gene Simmons.
And comedians say, because they're so qualified. Basically, shut the f up.
Yeah, this is what he says.
People are kind of, criticizing Trump, like Hollywood right now, over this war thing.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
because everybody in the world should listen to what actors and comedians say, because they're so qualified. Basically, shut the f up. Do your art and shut up. Nobody's interested in your opinions. That includes me, who I vote for, who I like. Who the f do you think you are?
Yeah.
People in America work hard for their living, and they don't want to be lectured to by people who live in mansions and drive Rolls Royces. It's time for everybody in the entertainment industry to shut their pie hole and just do your art. Nobody cares what you think. I don't.
Exactly.
Okay. What
I don't either.
Mark Ruffalo, however the he pronounces his
Mark
name.
Ruffalo, yeah.
Ruffalo, Buffalo. What does Mark think about politics? I don't care.
Exactly.
So you think celebrities should stay out of the politics?
Yeah, they should.
Well, we both agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Or go to Kylie Jenner and ask her what she thinks of the war so far.
Exactly. Go get her opinion, because it's so important. Like they would influence us so much. Hang on, guys. I got the mail coming in. Sorry about that. The mail always wants to deliver when I start my show. So, apologies. Like I said, I've had a busy last week with my father and being sick. And then my daughter, she passed a riding course for a motorcycle license, which I'm happy over that. That's great news. Also, what I wanted to say was, Bill Maher come out and said the other day, Democrats need to ditch the celebrities. They're doing nothing. They're no good. There's no benefit for them to actually have the celebrities on their side. Why? Because they don't influence us to do anything. Do you really think I get on YouTube and watch a video? I don't watch a lot, but I do watch some. Do you think when I see those commercials, oh, that just any of these influencers out there, they call themselves influencers or streamers. I consider myself a streamer, content creator, because I do create content. Not these streams to me are not content. I mean, they are if you watch them later, but I don't consider this creating content. I consider me creating content is shooting videos of me out doing things and stuff like that and creating content like on my motorcycle or different things in public and doing stuff. I'm creating content. This, a lot of people just consider this content right here, and it is to a point, but I consider this streaming. We're streaming. Okay. Yes, it's content later, but it's streaming. So Bill Maher. That's what he said. I got the video. Let's see if I can find the last video I had of him saying, what the world is a vampire. Let's see, which one was it? I don't know if that's it. We'll try and see. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I don't know. I don't think it is. Let's see which one it is. Outlaw.
Often pointlessly, even if we...
No, that's not it. Let's see. Okay, that's it right there. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. That's not it. Remove from studio. Anyways, I hope your guys' week's going good. Mine's been going, like I said, crappy. Pictures, video file. Let's see. Where are you at? I don't know if I still got the video. Huh. It's not showing in here. Dadgummit. Where is he at? Anyways, he said it. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys this other video before we exit out of here. Guys, this is how bad it's got with the stores and with the companies. They're so scared that people are going to cancel them. That because it's like 20%, if that. Like the conservatives, the common sense people are 80%. Why is the little 20%, if 20%, even if it's 20%, why do they feel like, why do these companies feel like they're going to be canceled over so little percentage of people? Like, this is sad. Like, even the fucking Easter egg candy. Watch this. The Easter shit. Look. Rainbow. Even the rainbow candy. This is for the LGBTQ guys. Right here. Why? Because the companies are scared they're going to be canceled if they don't put a product out for them. Now, when did this world come to this? When did the nonsense come to this? When did people start thinking this way? This is ridiculous. Under Obama, I can tell you. LGBT has to have their own Easter eggs for Easter. What a shame. It's a fucking sight that we cannot live in a normal society where we don't care to see that shit. I don't care if they have it. Why is it an issue? Just put the shit out. Quit trying to make a statement saying, oh, we support you and all this. Who cares? Why are you so scared? You're a $1 billion company. You're scared of a little percentage of people? This country has went to hell. Seriously, 80s and 90s was great, guys. We didn't think like that. We didn't have that shit pushed down our throats. We didn't care. That shit didn't come up. Now it's all a battle over what sex and what gender and what you can say and what you can't say. When did our rights and our freedoms get took so easy? Because that's true. Do you not understand how quick that we've lost so many rights that people don't realize? Yeah, it may not be, we may not be losing it on the book, because if you do something, you go to court over it and go to Supreme, and then, you know, they say, oh, that's stupid. You have the right to do that. You have the right to free speech, blah, blah, blah. But when it's like it's an rule, law, commandment, saying, because they've canceled us. They keep you quiet. They keep certain words from being said. And when people say it, it's like, when did we get to that point where people are, they've took our freedom of speech without really taking it out of the law book, is what I'm saying. Like, it's there. We can fight it in court and win. But out here, they're chipping away at it every day. You don't understand. Just like Ted Cruz saying that. If you say Christ is king, you hate people. That's the nonsense. And that word will be canceled soon enough. Trust me, it doesn't. When did we get to that point where, we've allowed them to take our freedom of speech? It may, like I said, it's still on the books. We still have freedom of speech on the books, but out here in public, people watch what they say. I don't give a shit. I have the right to say what I want, when I want, how I want. But what I'm saying is, if you look at it, not just social media, but out here in public, people cry and throw fits and get triggered over a hat, over a word, over certain clothing. Like, when did we become a society of pussies? Honestly, man up. And that is our show. And we'll be back tomorrow. So if you want to support the channel, hit those links going across or look at the super chats there. We will read them out loud. All donations will be read out loud. Also, we will be hopefully getting our monetization back at the end of the month, or I get to file again for it. We have went with the guidelines, what they're saying, the TOS. We've, trying to follow the rules with the videos. I've had to delete and re-edit. So hopefully we get that back, and that way you guys can send super chats in. But if you don't want YouTube taking 30%, there it goes across the screen. You can support the channel as those Cash Out, PayPal, or Venmo, guys. Like I said, until tomorrow, stay in your lane or crash the damn thing.